Alright, first thing I just want to say is anybody who's actually watching this video, thank you, I appreciate it. I know the video quality is not the greatest, so I appreciate you checking it out. And so where I'm at with this thing now, I've got my main gear in, everything nice and smooth there. Took about a ½ millimeter of shim to get all the up and down play out. Not too bad. I got the skids on. Now the skids, pretty straightforward except for they use a 4 millimeter bolt here, and there's a hole in this cross member here, and so it has to line up when you put the bolt in to go through. And it was a little bit of a pain because it's so tight in the plastic to try to get it. So got through that, and then set screws here. It's, you know, like a normal, everything else normal helicopter. And then 45 millimeters here, between there and there, I got that. I kept saying that in the other parts that this cross member was for the boom supports. Turns out it is not. It is a canopy mount. This particular one is stepped, so it fits in the frame perfectly, and there's a canopy mounts on there. And the boom supports are actually these aluminum blocks that are sandwiched between the bottom plate and the skid, and it is really solid. I mean, it's really nice. So that turned out to be something even better than I thought once I started getting into it and doing it. Just playing around with the ESC placement. I had mentioned in the book they show a 200 amp hobby wing speed control, and there's actually blind nuts in this piece of carbon fiber that the legs of the hobby wing 200, you know, you could bolt it right to that, and it makes it real nice. But the legs on this Cosmic are just a little bit wider, so that wasn't going to work. Also, I have a Hobby Wing 200 on another helicopter. It's just a little bit smaller than this, and this one just doesn't want to, it just didn't fit in there nice. So I moved it down here with 2 bolts, and this is just sitting in there loose right now, and I'll just loop my wires around. I've soldered on the bullets. They're actually these RC Pro Plus 6 millimeter, 5 millimeter. They're really nice though. I soldered those on thinking they would work on the motor bullets. These are the ones that were on it, and when I did it they were loose. So rather than try to find female bullets that would match this, I just unsoldered the motor bullets and soldered on the RC Pro Plus, and that worked out good. So now these fit in there good. I'm ready to connect that. So that's that. Let's see, anything else on here? This plate is still on, but probably won't use this plate. I mentioned that. And that's it for that. So next up will be my rotor head. Oh yeah, the fan. Fan will mount in here. I'm going to have to loosen this cross member because this is sandwiched in there. But I'm not going to do that till I'm done working up here. Whatever. I wanted to show the tail. So this is the tail block. It's actually, if you worked on any line helicopter, this normally is all open, this area here. I guess these things work in some dusty conditions, so they actually enclosed it, and it's actually packed with actual grease, which I thought was cool. And so I had to split it to see. This thing goes together. Let's go in there. There's a plug right there where you can actually take this plug out like a differential and pump more grease in there while it's in service. This plug right here lines up. Let's see if I get this up in here. Lines up perfectly with this hole right here. And that's in there. So you could reach in there with an Allen driver and take the plug out, shoot some more grease in there if you need to. That's pretty cool. So that's that. So the next thing I'm going to do is get the rotor head out. Oh, there's one last thing I mentioned. This is an electronics box. So this mounts back here, right? And then in there is Align's flight controller, power control unit, a couple of other things if you bought this ready to fly. I'm thinking I might use this still, mount it, and I could put my Micro Beast in there. I could take the cover off. I don't know, I'm still thinking about it, but it will work in there. I could pass the wires through. I don't know, maybe put a satellite out here. This would be for the GPS normally, but I might have to use it, to be honest, because I would normally mount it here, but this is not flat like a normal Align helicopter. Wish I had another one to show, but so I am going to get the rotor head out now. I will tear down, completely disassemble the rotor head and take a look in there, see if anything else is different, and I'll come back and we'll take a look at it. Alright, got the rotor head torn down. Couple things. They've got this tin feathering shaft, what they call tin. I'm not really sure if it's supposed to be hardened differently or something, I don't know, but it's that tin color thing that they advertise. The one thing that is definitely different is that it's got a double row or a double radial bearing on the end, rather than usually just have one, and one back there. So you got your normal thrust bearing. Let me see if I can come down a little bit with this. Get your normal thrust bearings, right? And then a double radial bearing, feathering shaft bolt. So that's definitely different. And the other thing too I noticed is I saw it's got these blade clips that fit in there, right? But then there's this dowel, this little dowel pin thing that sticks out, and I saw that. I grabbed one of the blades to look, and sure as hell there's a hole in the blade. I guess to keep it from, maybe help with a boom strike or something, but that fits in there perfectly. So when this is in, this is all together, it really can't move much. You'd think it would want it to move a little bit just so it'd find its perfect center, Let me go out. Yeah. You think they want it to move just a little bit, but let's see. Yeah, I don't know why that doesn't. Push it in to get it lined up, but oh, that's the bottom. That's the top. Yeah, that's how it goes. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I've seen that before in some scale, like big scale blades, or like the Varios. They have 2 bolts instead of 1, but I never seen it on one of these. These definitely some big blades, 900 millimeter blades. So that's that. Other than that, nothing, you know, double bearings, tin shaft, and clips. Other than that, it's the same. The swash plate, definitely nothing different there. It says 700 right on it. Direct 700. So that's probably definitely exactly the same as a 700, 800. Same thing. Feels nice and smooth. So I've got all these balls Loctited. I will. Oh, the other thing too, cool, is this grease that you see here. This red grease that was in there, and this is the grease that I use. It's aluminum complex grease. It's the same exact grease that they put in there. So I guess I did a good thing by, I've been using this forever, 10 years on all my thrust bearings. So it's almost, I'm thinking that's what this stuff is. It feels just like it. So dampeners, same stuff there. Head block is, it says E1 on it, but I think it's the same. So I will get this all back together, greased up, tight, F3C arms, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like built. Okay, head is built, nice and smooth, everything's Loctited, thrust bearings greased, feathering shaft is greased, Loctite, my washout arms in, everything moves real nice, feels real smooth. So good to go, and it does have the 0 pitch marks. If you could see it, I don't know. But so we got that done. I got my swash, all the balls Loctited, ready to go on. So the next thing really to do is get my servos ready to install. I've got my carbon plates there. Oh, I guess I should build the links for the main grips. That's right there. So I'll probably do that. These links are from the servos to the swash. Get those built. This is pretty straightforward, really. Each one of these servos, you have to, I can get one out. Each one of these basically the same old thing, right? Take the grommet, find a spot. These are a little different than the Savox that I'm used to using. Each one will get a rubber grommet. And the last one. And then your brass helps to have little fingers doing this. The elevator servo gets them this way, and the 2 aileron servos, they come in from the other side. That's basically it, and then you get a carbon plate on top of each one. This is scrap. Let's see. Got the Align aluminum arms for the 3 cyclic servos. So I will get all 4 servos done and mounted, and then I'll come back. Oh, you know, I did buy some loom for these. I bought this back when I bought the kit. I don't know, was it like fluorescent orange or I don't know, maybe, I guess I should use it. I bought it for it. Might look pretty cool. So I'll do that off camera. I don't want to bore anybody more than I'm boring you already. So get that done. I scrap all these boxes. Get my links built, my servos built and installed, and come back. Now one thing too, I want to just mention this on here. Let me see. With all the stuff that they've done on this helicopter, for this elevator servo, they got you taking self-tapping screws into plastic instead of having metal there. With all the stuff that they've done on this, you'd think they would have put a piece of metal here so you had something to Loctite. But let me see if I can get a closer look. Right. Here is what I'm talking about. The elevator servo bolts in here with self-tapping screws. So I was like, you gotta be kidding me with all the stuff that they've done. They didn't put something there that you could Loctite to, but whatever, no big deal. Not gonna complain. I already thought about drilling right through the plastic and putting a nut and bolt, but I'm not an engineer. They say you don't need it. So be it. So I'll get this going and come back, and we'll take another look. So I wanted to cut in here real quick. Ran into a little bit of a roadblock. Not too big of a deal, but with the elevator servo. So the elevator servo mounts right here. I'm going to zoom in. Let's see if I can get this. I want you to mount the elevator servo here, and it shows in the picture that it mounts or bolts right to this molded plastic piece on the frame. But when I do that, okay, the ball or the link would be on an angle. So in other words, I don't know if you could see this, but this would not line up with the ball on the swatch plate. So it's going to be on an angle. And so I don't know if the servos that would come in the ready to fly would be different. I don't know, they're standard servos, but so what I did is I took this little spacer and I put that on there, and when I put that on there and bolt it tight, it almost lines up right in the middle of the main shaft. The ball just perfect. So this is an aligned piece. I don't even know what it's from, but this little spacer is perfect. Now these arms, they don't come with the kit, but these arms are the exact part number that's in the manual. So that's what I ordered. So, and then all the balls were in the bag. So I don't understand how they expected this to line up. I know they wouldn't want it on an angle, but so that's what I'm going to do. The problem is I don't have bolts. I don't have bolts long enough to go completely through. So I had to order the bolts. So I can't mount the elevator servo right now. I did loom the wires. I put my switch in back here. I loomed the wires. I figured might as well. I got the stuff. Zoom out. So, but that's where I'm at right now. So, just wanted to show that. Like, I don't understand what. I mean, they show it mounted right to the plastic. I don't understand how they would want this link on an angle like that. But anyway, so I ordered the bolts. It's going to be a few days. They had to be about 30 millimeters long, 2.5 by 30. So it'll take me a couple days to get those. So I'm going to move on to other stuff. Start placing the electronics in here. I'm going to get the tail out. The tail assembly, go through it. And I'll come back. Alright, so here's the tail assembly. That's pretty much all I got left. But I wanted to show a few things. One thing I noticed that these the ball links on this thing are actually bigger, so I got, oh man, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but they take the same size ball, but there's a whole lot more material around them, which is pretty cool. So I thought, yeah, they're like real beefy. So just wanted to show that. And then let's see, there's one other thing I wanted to say before I got into the tail. I wound up on the, I've been working on the wiring for this thing, so it's really a mess right now. But I wound up, let me get this off here. If I can bring this in here so you guys can see it. I wound up drilling completely through here and putting nut and bolts like I said I wanted to do. I just couldn't get over using self-tapping screws, so now I got a through bolt with nuts on the back side that I can Loctite. And you can see how nice this lines up. I did find a picture that shows this link on an angle like that in the book. So that's apparently what they wanted, but it definitely works out a lot better like this with the spacer in there. Makes it nice and straight. So that worked out real good. Happy with that. So with this tail, I wanted to show I've got, now this is not going to fit in the frame, but I had a 700 tail boom here. I could line up there, and you can see here how much longer I'm sorry about the video quality. You see how much longer, give you some idea of how massive this thing really is. And I think it's like an 800 size boom. This 700 boom fits inside it. Torque tube uses 3 bearings instead of 2, but then I got a Mikado 800 that has 3 torque tube bearings. And tail control rod is nothing special there. It has 2 supports instead of 1. And the tail boom control, or tail boom mounts, or supports, should I say, are definitely beefier. Real nice, and they're pinned. Very nice. So happy with that. It looks pretty decent. Get into that. So what I'm going to do is take this tail box completely apart, and you see that this box is closed, so I'm going to take it all apart. We'll see what's in there. I'm assuming it's going to be greased like the other front transmission had grease in it. These tail blades are 120s. Just black, but they're 120s. I'm wondering if that, oh boy, if that's going to be enough for tail authority. I guess so. You know what? I think these are plastic. Yeah, these are plastic. Nothing special there. Huh. Well, that's disappointing. Tails. These are the rubbers for the torque tube, and then tail skid and a little extension for it here. So I'll get this torn apart and we'll come back and take a look at it, and be back. Okay, got it torn down, and sure as heck there is these grease. That red grease is in there. So this is really cool, where you could actually, you know, grease this. There's no way to actually get grease in this one like there is in the front, but I just fill it with, you know, keep it packed, and then there's no plug on this one like there was in the front to get grease in there. But that's pretty cool though. I like that. I like the fact that it's, you know, maybe, I'm not sure, what is it, because it's dusty? They working on farms where it's dusty? Or maybe they're just trying to make these gears live longer by having them, you know, packed with grease, wheel bearing grease. Looks like wheel bearing grease. I like it though. And then as far as the tail, the hub and the thrust bearings, really nothing different about this tail. This is really the same as any other line tail that I've built. It's got the dual point here and there. This is, everything on here is loose though. Got the little bushings that go in there, in here, in this part. So Loctiting this is a real pain, because you gotta just try to get a little bit of Loctite in the hole first, and then screw the bolt in, otherwise it wicks out. So nothing really too exciting to show except for the tail case being enclosed like that. So I'm gonna get this built, and this is probably be the end of this video. Next video really would be mostly like setup stuff. I'm not going to do setup videos, but I might just show my using the prog unit on the Cosmic, on the Contronic speed control, what I do with all of my Contronic. That'd be something cool to show. And then the Micro Beast, there's a million setup videos out there on that, so I'm going to get this together, and I might come back. This might be the end of the video, but I'll see how long it is. So if I don't see you in this next one, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out. Alright, so I thought I'd do just one more quick segment showing I got the tail built. Got the entire tail built, but I'm not going to put it on there until I get through the setup, because the thing just gets huge with all this on there. So, but yeah, it gave me, this is, you know, none of this is set yet, the control rod. This gave me fits getting this smooth, but I finally got it. It was just stiffer than I liked it to be. So I just had to keep, you know, taking it apart, and, you know, take a little file and these little bushings, and I finally got it nice and smooth now. You know, turns nice and smooth. Packed a little more grease in there. front. This is ready to put on the helicopter. I'm just going to wait until, like I said. So it is ready to go. None of this is set yet. I get the boom supports on, and when I'm ready to mount it, I'll probably do one more video on like the setup, final placement of electronics, and where I'm going to put everything. Playing around with it a little bit here. It's really hard to see, but this receiver, this big receiver, is turning out to be more of a headache than it was probably worth. This is probably a silly thing to do, but I have it, and if I don't use it on this one, I'll probably never use it. So like I said, I gotta play around with where I'm gonna place everything. I think this is gonna probably wind up here. The V6, like I said, will go inside here. You know, like I said, so I'll get that going. I'll get this video uploaded, and again, I apologize for this quality. And I'll come back, and I want to show the Contronic, how I do a couple of videos out there, how I use the prog unit to do the programming and stuff. Like I said, I'm not an expert by no means, but there's not a lot of videos on how to use this thing. So not that I want to be an instructional video, but I wouldn't do good with that, but at least show you what I do with mine. So I shall be back. Thanks for watching.